Okay, now respect. Welcome back. Welcome back to Smitty's Corner. Respect to you all, and thank you for tuning in once again. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our time and we're gonna listen to this Passa. Okay, so Passa, I guess Passa reached this breaking point. All right, and shout out to this brother right here. Right, shout out to the brother Nick Jones. Y'all should go over and subscribe. But with that being said, I want to go ahead and I want to get into this video, right? Oops, what is going on? Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, respect. Welcome back to Smitty's Corner. So I want to go ahead. I want to listen to this video. This is a guy who's going to talk about this passer who I guess reached his breaking point and he's walked away from the word. So let's just listen to what this brother right here, the brother Nick Jones right here, let's listen to what he has to say. And let's also listen, I guess, what the pastor has to say in regards to what has taken place and why he has left the church. Let's rock out.
All right, y'all. So ex-pastor, he went from preaching the gospel, serving God, all of that stuff, right? He went from that to now becoming a full-time TikToker, explaining to everybody why Christianity is false, explaining to everybody why he left and why you should too. And look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You have free will. You can think whatever you want to think. You can think whatever you want to think. But I think most people who come from this type of environment where they used to be a Christian or, used to be in a position of leadership in the church and then they fell out for whatever reason, I question if you ever really experienced the goodness of God in the first place. That's what I question. Because if you truly experience the goodness of God, ain't no way you turning back. Ain't no way you going back to your slop after you experience the best meal that you've ever had in your entire life. Ain't no way. But sometimes what happens is people get caught up in this, religious spirit. They get seduced.
Well, let me pause it right there. He's on to something. I would say he's on to something. That is definitely a perspective. I've always had the perspective of this. I personally believe from what I've seen, because I always go by what I hear the most that come from people who no longer believe. And I notice that there's this direct correlation in the type of story that they say. So what I also recognize is that you have a lot of people who they were the most strongest hardcore believers. Nothing could get them from it. And then something devastating happened. Something so, God, why would you let this happen, took place, and it broke them. It broke them. And that's how you get the people. Because when I ask folks like, so why do you say God isn't real? And I always hear something to the lines or the tune of, well, if God was real, then why would God let these kids starve, or these animals die, or this person suffer? And it's always that. If God was real, then why would God let the pastor do this to my baby sister or me? It's always something really devastating from what I've heard that takes place that just totally breaks that person to the point where they just don't want to go back. They believe so much. They put so much trust into what they believed God to consist of and or be, and that was destroyed, and it destroyed them along with it. And that's why it is so dangerous to put yourself in a position of leadership when it comes to the word and misguide people or railroad folks. Because that is a heavy thing, I believe, to be paid when one leaves. But I digress. My mic is muted. Let's keep going.
By these religious spirits. And they feel like they have to act a certain way or do a certain, a certain task or certain activities in order to be right with God or in order to be holy. And in doing so, they realize how exhausting that actually is, and that causes them to deconstruct and fall away from the faith. But God calls us to a relationship with him. God is a relational God. He's not a God who just sits up on a throne and is just a dictator, but he actually invites us to experience things alongside of him, to live this life and walk on this earth alongside of him until we get to heaven and get to meet him face to face and get to hang out with him for all of eternity, which is going to be lit. You want to talk about lit here on earth? Y'all ain't seen nothing. Y'all ain't seen nothing. But anyway,
I would say that it is written that in this three-dimensional world, basically, and does, I don't know about, listen, just, I'm paraphrasing. Just follow me, okay? For those who like just follow me. I'm paraphrasing. So, like, it does say, like, for us in this three-dimensional realm that we are in this physical form, we can only see but so much, taste but so much, feel but so much, go but so far. And it is, you talking about, like, to be in a place where I don't care what the best of a fruit you can ever think of here, and when it's at the most perfect, ripest form, and it's the sweetest and juiciest, has nothing on the fruits that hang low from the trees in paradise. Rivers with, like, fresh wine, water, milk, and honey, and the wine does not make one drunken. It's a very, very beautiful, beautiful thing. Same thing for the other side. Whatever burnt you might have felt here, it's 10 times that from what's written. Whatever loneliness and despair you felt here is 10 times that from what is written. So things are magnified almost like times 10, times 7, times 70, and all this other stuff. It is. So I digress. My mic is muted.
He sent me this video. Shout out to you. Let's get into the video. I'm going to try to keep myself calm, cool, collected, but I can't guarantee that. I'm already kind of amped up. So let's go.
Yes, I am angry. I'm angry because I lived a lie for 15 years and I believed it with all my heart. I separated my...
God dang it. I did not see this video. I'm sorry. That just kind of amped me. Did I or did I not? Just say that. I swear on my life and every bit of health that is in me, I did not pre-watch this. I found it. I read the title. I glanced at a couple seconds. I heard that little first piece. I did not get to the video. Why did I just say most people? I said because they believe so hard and something happens and it breaks them. It's a correlation to, I just said it. Whoa, man, oh man. Let's keep on going. Let's rock out. I digress. My mic is muted.
So for my family, friends, I moved, relocated, disassociated myself from everyone or anyone who was not saved. I believed that I could not be unequally yoked together with non-believers. So I turned my back on good people or people who needed me. But it was for the cross's sake, right? It was for the cross's sake. Rather than fearing men, I feared the one who can cast both soul and body in some place called hell. I took hook, line, and sinker the false story of love called John 3:16. That's no message of love. That's a message of coercion. Twisting your arm behind your back is a message with the ultimate threats on the end of it.
Now, what Passa don't realize is it's in him. Even right now, as he's telling you not to go to church, he's in church. He's preaching. He's in his mode. I guarantee you, that's exactly how he sound when he was doing his sermons. He's still in mode, which means it's still in him. This is what I know. The little teeny little grains of sand that I may have of wisdom. What I know is this. What I know is that when a man speaks like that, that man's hurt. The way he was speaking, you want to know why I believe that might be the case? Because even with religion, Like, I do personally believe that religion is a healthy thing for those who it needs to be healthy for, almost like the military. The military is not for everybody. Some people go to the military and that's their life. Some don't. But we're all American citizens, or we're all, citizens, civilians and alike, right? So my point is, this guy right here, I believe that when he was saying he turned his back on good people, it almost sounds like the person who stopped hanging out with a lot of his real friends because he wound up joining a gang. And the gang said, nah, you can't hang with them because they live over, on our ops territory and things of that nature. So you can't hang out with like Joseph and Carl and Kev no more. You can't hang out with them because you with us now. And there is a lot of when it comes to religion, it can be a lot of separation involved with certain things. They try to, a lot of times, depending on where you are now. I want to make this clear. This is not all churches. This isn't all everywhere you go in sex and everything else. But there are a whole lot of them that are very much corrupted and tainted. I've even said it myself. I didn't walk away from the word. I just walked away from the people who represent it wrong. Dead ass. Because I walked away from the church. Yeah, I walked away from what we call modern Christianity. I don't claim that. It's fraudulent. It's pick and choose. It's what you want. It's not the word. It's not. It's what people want the word to be. And if you don't acquiesce to what they want you to make the word to be, then it's like, I beseech thee, Satan. Like, stop it. Just stop it. So this is what I'm getting so far. Let's keep on going.
While it says, oh, if you believe, you'll get some cake. But if you don't, I'll burn you. Let me tell you something, every believer. Yeah, I'm mad. Because
Well, I think people are still, okay, so again, it's the interpretation of these things. So I'm just going to tell you how I get that. If you believe, you'll make it. If you don't believe, you won't. Okay? How I see that more so is, it's more so when you believe, you stay within boundaries. You stay within accordance. You stay in line, as in you don't transgress boundaries. You don't go into the outer limits. You don't do things that will consider you to be in the realm of no return. And when you don't believe, that's how you wound up in the state of do as thy will. That's how that happens from what I see. It's more so on that level. Not, oh, you didn't believe me? Well, you got to go burn. No, it's like, look, if you want to make it to me, I've given you a map. Like just like in a maze. Like, this is a maze, but you have a map to this maze runner. So just like the movie Maze Runner, if you can make it through this maze, then you see. Now, no, at the end of it, it's not some lab and all this other shit, but I'm just that piece of the correlation, if you can understand. And you remember when they was going through the first one in the mazes and stuff? What was it? A whole bunch of big ass like spider demons. Basically, it was big ass monsters that they had to be careful of, right? And I look at that as all of like the evil spirits and the obstacles and everything that comes your way here. And we're trying to make our way through this.